Hello, good morning, year two students. Welcome to today's lesson. Today being 10th of January 2022, our lesson for today is on verbs. Before we go into our lesson for today, let's remember our mission and vision at Brighton International Academy. Here at Brighton, we want to create a modern and an integrated personality for our students within a secured environment, which helps motivate moral values and scientific merit, our key features. Our vision is to provide an education sustained by values in order to build the nation. Talking about values, our value for the week is still on respect. Okay, so we always remember that when we give respect, we earn respect. The lesson objectives for today is that at the end of today's lesson, our students will be able to write a proper heading for a list by making two lists, okay? Now we're going to show understanding of verbs by matching verbs to words with similar meaning. Okay, that being said, let's look at the vocabulary words for the week. Remember, number one, pussycat, honey, above, guitar, beautiful, elegant, charming, shilling, means, edge. Okay, these 10 words are our spelling words for the week. All right, moving into what we have today. So like I say, we're going to be talking about or learning verbs today. So girls or boys, what comes to your mind when you hear the word verb? What comes to your mind? Okay, I guess right? Action word, okay? When you do actions, like when you eat, when you read, when you sleep, when you swim, when you dance, when you talk, when you drive, okay? All these are verbs. All right. So moving ahead, let's look at what today's lesson is all about. Today's lesson, we are going to cover lists. Okay, we're going to make lists, two lists actually, and we're going to learn how to make heading for each list. Then we're going to be identifying some verbs, and also we are going to match verbs to words with similar meaning. Okay, now let's go into what we have proper. So can we open the student's book page 36? Oh, sorry about that. I didn't tell us our resources for today. We're going to be using the student book, the workbook, and the notebook, okay? So have your notebook, have your student book, and your workbook. Then with your pencil and your eraser with you. Okay, so from student book page 36, let's read the first question. It says, who did the things below? Was it Emma or the thing? Okay, girls or boys, what here is just trying to talk about is, remember last week we read the story about kind Emma, right? Okay, so because we read the story about kind Emma, these are the things they did in the story. Okay, Emma and the thing. Remember from the story of kind Emma, there are some things they did. So we're going to put them in two lists. So this is how I'm going to make the list. First of all, remember to write the student book, the page of the student's book. Okay, so we page words, page 36. Then go ahead to write today's date, which is 10th of January 2022. Okay, so I'm going to be writing number one, answering number one, and we're making lists. We're going to make two lists. The first list will be, the heading for the first list will be things Emma did. Okay, then I'll come down to write things the thing did. Okay, so these are the heading of our two lists. So number one, what did Emma do from the story? Opened the door. Yes, it was Emma. So I'm going to put it here. Opened the door. Number two, she poked the fire. Okay. Number three, she left the room. She left the room. Okay. So these are the things Emma did. Now, let's talk about the things that the thing did. The thing, number one, scuttled in. Number two, stayed hidden. Number three, scrubs the floor. And finally, number four, stayed with kind Emma. Okay, so this is list number one. The title is Things Emma Did, and then Things the Thing Did. All right, so this one being answered, okay, I'm going to go over to answering question number two. So question number two said, write the verbs from the question in a list. So how do I also make this a list? I write number two, question number two, right? I go ahead to write verbs, which is a title. Remember, all our list should have a title. So the verbs here are opened, scuttled, poked, stayed, scrubbed, left, and finally stayed again. Okay, so these are the verbs from this list. Okay, so number three says, read the words in the first box, find words in the second box that have a similar meaning. Okay, so we should write them. For example, share means to divide things. Okay, so that being said, to run quickly means what? It means to scuttle, right? So I'm going to write it to scuttle. So write it out. You're going to write it out for me. Don't make it like this. You have to write it out in your notes. Okay? Like how they wrote it here. Share means what? To divide. So you're going to write it like this. So you write scuttle means to run. Push a pointed object into someone or something. It means to poke. Okay? Share slightly because you feel cold. Okay, to shake slightly, it means to shiver. To shine brightly means to glow. And divide things means what? So we're going to all write it like this. All right, moving ahead, let's go to the workbook. Workbook page 26. Now read the sentences and circle the verbs. Of course, we all know the verbs here, right? So we're going to circle. This is what? Lived, opened, poked, left, put, okay? So these are what? The verbs. Now, number two says, write the verbs to complete the sentences below. Okay, we're going to write, the fire dash and the water was hot. The fire did what? The fire glowed, right? What happened to the fire for it to? Okay. The fire glowed. Because it has to shine brightly, right? The fire glowed. Was it glowed? Okay. Let's say the fire burned. Good. The fire burned. Okay, for the water too. Then the floor was what? The floor was scrubbed. The floor was scrubbed. Okay, and the tiny thing did what with Emma? The tiny thing stayed with Emma. Okay, now choose one of the verbs from the verbs and write a sentence. Okay, so we can say Emma left the room. Emma left the room. So that is it. And write a sentence. So we put a full stop because it's a sentence. Emma left the room. Okay. So that being said, let's see our closure. Okay. So for us to close, I want you to summarize what you understood today. Tell us what verbs are. And then finally, you do this word search or word search. Okay, we search for these verbs. Okay, so try to do it by yourself. I'm going to send it on Fedena. So we'll try to do it, okay? All right, girls, that is it for today. Thank you.